This e-bike is lightweight, foldable, yet very powerful and smart. A20 seem to be ahead of the competition with the new A20 Air. But I do have some alarming facts to share, so let's inspect. Hey everybody, really nice to meet you. I'm your tech Mishka, and as usual we are expecting some cool and fresh tech on the channel. Something I'm super excited about is called the A20 Air, an e-bike I had to wait for like 2-3 months already, finally having the chance to thoroughly test it with you and for you. And I'm really excited because A20 promised to fix with this bike a lot of things which are not right about folding e-bikes. Has amazing range, has very beautiful construction, good electronics, carbon belt drive, and all of that supposed to weigh around 16 kilograms. My task today to thoroughly test it and figure out whether all these marketing claims are matching the reality. So we inspect. Initially launched as a crowdfunding campaign, the bike is now globally available at prices between $1,300 and $1,500 depending on the setup. There are 250 and a 350 watt motor variations and editions with or without front suspension. I do expect to see a number of similarly looking e-bikes in the future though, and right now there are similar models by Dahon, Anloshi and other makers. The price is rather steep for the setup, but if the chosen components are good enough, it may be well worth the money. Unboxing has been quite a lot of fun. Was about to be nice to have a self-setup unit, but I guess we're gonna have to do it the right way. The box is rather small and the bike seems to be well protected. Pulling it up is not that difficult, since the weight of the bike is just below 20 kilograms. I guess then comes the most boring part, namely getting rid of all these layers of protective foam. Together with a charger, you're going to receive a few accessories, and they are of quite poor quality. I wouldn't trust the smartphone holder, the pump is ridiculous, the multifunctional tool is just fine. In terms of assembling, we have to unfold, happens quite naturally. Then we have to mount the handlebar and the stem. It's a fairly easy task to complete and is well described in the user guide. Besides this task, here's the seat, which also happens to host the battery, and you also need to mount the pedals. Besides charging the battery, checking the tire pressure and getting to know the user guide, there's nothing else you need to do. Well, technically, you may also want to mount the plastic fenders. A20 promised to send me metal fenders as a gift, but 4 months after my payment, none of these gifts have arrived, not even the throttle which comes with the international version. So now we can start discussing the details. Build quality as a starter is fascinating, and I'd really praise the paintwork. Multi-layer coating with very thick layer of paint, it's unusual for a Chinese e-bike. Folding and unfolding is super easy, just be extra careful with the wires here, because they might tear in some rare cases. Here's a tip, you might want to push a bit from the front in order to loosen and gain a few extra centimeters before you fold the bike. In terms of equipment and components, there are some good moments to highlight. 250 or a 350 watt motor with 37 or 42 Nm maximum torque, a Samsung 9.6 Ah battery, which should support you for up to 100 kilometers, 3 levels of pedal assistance managed by a torque sensor, 120 kilograms maximum payload, aluminium frame, 20-inch tires, carbon belt, hydraulic disc brakes, Bluetooth with a smartphone app, and weight is between 16.5 and 20 kilograms, depending on the configuration. That all sounds very promising, but let me pause for a moment my desire to comment about the specs and discuss a few other topics which I find very disturbing around the A20 brand. For instance, there are 2 variations of this e-bike, such equipped with 250 watt motors for the European customers, and the 300 watt editions which are meant to be sold internationally. So what A20 claim in their Facebook page is that they have packed a number of bikes with a 350 watt motor with the 250 watt stamp so that they can import it in Europe without any complications, meaning that if a company is ready to trick authorities, most likely they're kind of ready to trick you as end customers, and that's a bit disturbing. Something similar happened with the price. They were claiming through their crowdfunding page that the final price of the A20 Air is going to be close to $2,000, while in reality you can buy it right now from Amazon for close to $1,400. That's a big difference. Furthermore, I received my e-bike being one of the first backers 2 weeks after the bike was available for purchase on Amazon, and that was kind of upsetting. The other thing that many people noticed is about the weight. It's supposed to be 16 kilograms, but measured for most of the people, it's somewhere between 18 and 20, which is deviation of 10 to 20%, and that's quite serious. Other than that, I think we can all agree the design is beautiful, the choice for colors is also very good. There is a rear hub motor. As we said, there are 2 different variations. It is equipped with a torque sensor, meaning that the more you push through pedaling, the greater amount of assistance you're receiving, and the maximum output torque is somewhere around 40 Newton meters. That's a carbon belt, which is supposed to last for around 30,000 kilometers, and I really wish you to enjoy this e-bike at least for a fraction of that maximum. And my model here is equipped with front suspension. As you can see, it's quite responsive and a very good addition for the area where I live, because we have a lot of bumpy roads around. So with all of these specs now out of our way, it's time to do some more riding and figure out how it actually feels in real life. If you wonder whether the bike can quickly accelerate, let's make a test from 0 to 25 km per hour. Sadly, I don't have a throttle lever yet, so I had to support by pedaling a little bit. It's the slightly bigger 350 watt international motor, and I'm overall very happy with it. Happens to be less powerful than most current Bosch or Bafang mid-drives, but it's definitely helpful when going uphill. If you live in a rather flat area, pedaling even without the motor is possible, sometimes even pleasing, but if you have to often go up and down, you're going to feel the lack of gears. The carbon belt is fantastic, don't get me wrong. Of course, it's a very clean part and almost maintenance-free, but certainly takes a while until you get used to that. The torque sensor integrated contributes to very natural acceleration, with only exception being reaching the top speed of 25 km per hour, after which you're gonna notice a sudden drop, especially if you're riding with the top assistance level. The size of the crank and the overall construction give you the best riding comfort in the zone between 20 and 25 km per hour. Going slower is fine, but requires some more patience. Going faster than 35 km per hour is gonna make you feel unsafe because of the small tires. In short, motor implementation is very good, especially given the weight of the bike. If you wonder about the range, and you should, I feel it's not among the strongest sides. It's gonna be between 40 and 60 km with moderate assistance. If you want to try the purely electric mode by using the cheat connector, it's gonna probably support you for like 20 to 30 kilometers tops. It's not too bad, but nothing greater than that. The battery is supposedly having Samsung cells, but given the few inaccurate statements by ADO so far, I hope you're going to understand my doubts about something possibly shady with them too. Many people have reported the inability to charge up to 100%. It either means there's a cell problem, or it's something to address through a firmware update. There are 2 major advantages of the battery implementation here. It's literally inside the seat post, so you can remove it within 2 seconds and of course recharge it independently, and it also is positioned below the rider, which makes it safe from heavy rain. Overall, the electronics inside the bike is very well covered, and I feel that it can sustain a lot more than the IPX rating advertised. The big disadvantage is that the battery can also disappear within just 2 seconds, because it's very easy to steal together with the seat. I feel that ADO should have thought about better ways to secure it in advance. Apparently a new anti-theft bracket is in the works, but, well, kind of too late for the early backers, isn't it? If you bought the model without suspension, here's what you missed. Extra around 1 kilogram on the front and much greater comfort. It's an entry-level suspension, has spring and oil inside, around 60 mm travel, close to 0 adjustment options, and no lock. But it definitely helps with gravel and bumpy roads. If you mostly are going to be on the road with this e-bike, save some dollars and grams and go for the non-suspension model. Brakes are the real deal though. Hydraulic, same as these used with the A20 Beast. Quiet, although some people already report noises, but if that's the case, go ahead and change the pads to organic. Tires are 20 inches by 1.95 inches, great for the city, so I've switched to more off-road styled tires with about the same size, and braking is now significantly better, especially when I go off-road. The handlebar is also well thought, it's essentially the same as some other ADO models. Height can be adjusted. The display is lovely and you can see it no matter what. Intuitive controls, and even the ability to use the smartphone app for some more details. As for the drawbacks, I'd say that my initial interactions with the Sport were a bit alarming. The misleading information that we have received during the crowdfunding campaign, the lack of any security about the battery. I've had a loose crank spindle on mine, which eventually caused a torque sensor failure. There are some cable guide issues reported, so overall might be that the early batches suffer from certain lightweight quality issues. In the end, I still think, despite all these alarming things I've mentioned at the beginning of the video, that's a fantastic e-bike, and probably this construction, which I doubt is ADO proprietary, is going to become trendy in the next few years, just like what happened with the Mate X and their design. Only time can show, though. But given this particular model, excellent construction, beautiful design, beautiful colors, very capable motor, very good choice of components, it's almost perfect. And for that price, I don't think you can buy anything better in terms of folding electric city bike. Probably you can compare it to the ADO A20 Beast, something that I tested a few weeks ago. It's more powerful, has fat tires which contribute to much smoother riding and a slightly greater range, but it weighs 10 to 12 kilograms more, and this is so compact and lightweight that is totally a great choice for a city e-bike. Well, that's everything about my A20 Air review and my point of view. If you agree or disagree, feel free to share your opinion in the comment section below the video. As usual, in the video description area, I'm going to place a link, hopefully a discount code, for everybody who wants to buy this buddy. Thanks a lot for watching, ride safely and responsibly, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!